I want to tell you a story. Two sisters, Georgiana and June. They grew up, moved to the city, and both ended up in the lemonade business. Georgiana's husband owned a newspaper. So from the beginning, Georgiana advertised. Her lemon had a name, Georgiana's Lemonade, real lemonade. And her sales grew slowly at first, but steadily. Her business grew so much that she had to start sourcing more lemons. Then more stores started stocking her product. Her growth was not dramatic, it was slow and consistent. June did not advertise. Her lemonade sold well on its own, but then sales plateaued, and then they started to slowly decline. June eventually called her sister. Georgiana advised her to start advertising. So June did. June's lemonade, lemon goodness. And her sales stopped declining. She stabilized. And she remained profitable. But she never caught up. Today, Georgiana's holds roughly 60% of the market share. June holds the other 40%. Both are in business, but the gap between them, built over years of consistent advertising versus reactive advertising, never closed. That's the story that Sharp uses for the opening of chapter 9. And it is the most important thing that he has said so far in this book. Conventional understanding of how advertising works goes like this. You run an ad, people see it, people buy. Do A, get B. And because of that mental model, most businesses evaluate advertising on a short-term horizon. Did this campaign produce the sales this month? Did we see a spike in trials this week? And if not, the campaign is not working, cut the ad spend, try something different. That logic feels rational. It is how we evaluate most everything else in business. You invest, you measure, and you adjust based on what the numbers show. The problem is that advertising does not work on that timeline. And measuring it as if it does will lead you to make exactly the wrong decisions. What Sharp says is that the primary mechanism of advertising is not persuasion. It's not convincing someone to change their mind about their brand. It's not generating an immediate purchase impulse. It's not about creating an emotional experience that converts non-buyers into a buyer today. The primary mechanism of advertising is building and refreshing memory structures. It reminds us, and it creates new associations. The effects show up in sales data, but they show up slowly, and they show up long after the advertising has run. Every time someone is exposed to your brand, your name, your logo, your colors, your message, it strengthens the neural pathway that makes your brand retrievable from memory. And that retrievability, or mental availability, is what determines whether your gym comes to mind when someone is finally ready to make a purchase decision. The person who sees your ad today may not be able to join your gym for another 6 months, or 8 months, or a year. But when they are ready and when the time comes, your gym is already in their head because you were there when they were not yet in the market. Advertising does not create the buying moment. It positions you to win when the buying moment naturally arrives. Now back to these two sisters. June's mistake was not that she failed to advertise at all. She eventually did. Her mistake was that she had waited until the pain was visible before she acted. By the time that June started advertising, Georgiana had already spent years building memory structures in their shared market. Years of consistent presence. Years of name recognition compounding. Years of buyers reaching a purchase moment and thinking of Georgiana's lemonade first, simply because it had been in front of them for longer. June's advertising stopped the bleeding, but it could not erase the memory advantage that Georgiana's had already built. And that is the compounding nature of consistent advertising. And it is the devastating cost of waiting until things get bad before you start. The gym that starts advertising when membership is low is personified as June. The gym that never stops advertising, even when things are going well, is Georgiana. So we have to address this because it's a very important question that every gym owner asks when they start an advertising campaign. When am I going to see results? And the honest answer is, we don't know exactly. And anyone who gives you a precise timeline is guessing. But here's what we do know. The variable that controls your timeline is how much of your market have you reached relative to the size of your market. So in any given month, a certain number of people in your market are going to reach a buying moment. Those are the people who are going to decide that they finally are ready to join a gym. Something in their life is going to shift, whether that is a health scare, maybe it's a new year, maybe it's a friend who's joining with them. There's going to be some shift that compels them to buy. Once you have run your awareness campaign to your audience, your gym is already in their consideration set. The more of the market that you have reached, the greater chance that you will be at the closing sale. Your chances of winning that member are dramatically higher if you've reached 60% of your market than if you only reached 10% of your market. More reach equals more buying moments happening in your favor every single month. The timeline compresses as the reach grows. You cannot control when someone is ready to buy. You can control whether they think of you when they're ready to buy. Now, if you've been watching the series, you already know that the campaign structure that we recommend starts with awareness. A sustained, broad awareness campaign that reaches much of the addressable market as possible. We do that before any direct response or conversation activity begins. Some people push back on that. They want to get straight into conversion. They want the ad that produces the sale this week. And they don't want to spend the money on awareness that doesn't show an immediate return. And Chapter 9 is Sharp's answer to that objection. The awareness campaign is not the warm-up. It's the work. It's the memory structure being built. It's Georgiana's newspaper ads running every week while June's lemonade sells on its own momentum. The conversion campaign that comes later works better and costs less because the awareness campaign did its job first. You are not asking a stranger to buy. You are asking someone who already knows your name. Now, this all comes back to delayed gratification. I'll tell you firsthand, when we were just getting started as a company, we were always quick to jump right into the conversion campaign. Maybe if we do this ad, or if we go that way, or we say these things, maybe we'll connect. Trying to get as much traction and sales immediately. And there was a real growth moment that had to happen when we had said, you know what, we're going to step back and actually take our time, go step by step through these campaigns, and build the momentum as we go. And since then, things have been awesome. It's not about the quick kill. And sometimes taking the slow kill, actually, and I use that term loosely, it's not about the quick win. It's the slow win, right? The one that takes time, which yields the most results. It just takes time to build. And no, there's not certainty. But when has there ever been anything certain in business? The only thing certain in business is taxes. And if you're an owner of a business, you know that. Now, Georgiana did not build 60% of a market share in a month. She built it one consistent advertisement at a time, over years, while her competitors waited to feel the pain before they acted. The gym that wins in your market is not going to be the one that ran the best ads this week. They're going to be the one that never stopped showing up. And that is the concept of Chapter 9. Next week, we're going to get into Chapter 10. And if you're ready to build the kind of constant pressure that compounds over time, come find us at enochmarketing.com. I'm Collin. This is Enoch Marketing, and we'll see you next time.